What is up, my people? Alright, so today we're going to be talking about a topic that plagues a lot of people. Whether you're just finishing high school or college, or you've been working in a certain job for a while, and you want to make that jump into a different career field, we all run into a problem eventually where it's like, well, how do I get this job when I don't have either enough relevant experience or any work experience at all? So this video is going to look to provide you with 6 tips or tricks, depending on your perspective of them, on how to approach this conundrum. Alright, so the first tip or trick is to identify your current strengths. So a lot of times when people first graduate from college or high school, they're thinking, oh, I'm capable, I know what I'm doing, and so you should just hire me because I'm good. But you're not doing anything to demonstrate your abilities. You're just saying, give me a job. And it's like expecting someone to do something for you when you're not offering them anything in return. You're probably just going to get rejected or left at the door, or just no one's going to respond to you. So the first thing you really want to do is identify your current strengths that you can demonstrate to a potential employer. So you'd be like, hey, you should hire me because I can do X, Y, and Z. So maybe you had some computer skills in college, so you have basic Microsoft Office and Excel experience, or maybe you have lawn care experience, you want to work for a landscaper. Like, you got some options. At the very minimum, everyone can be hardworking, punctual, and flexible, right? Especially a lot of entry-level jobs, whether it's like janitorial services or things like that, where you have to work hard hours and sometimes you have to work by yourself, and they want to know that they can find someone who they can depend to be at the job, is flexible to do the necessary hours that everyone else doesn't want to do, and most importantly, that you'll be on time for what they're doing. And everyone has a certain strength that they can use, right, or that you can prioritize. One of my favorite stories that I've found on the internet is this. I think it's called "You Can Be My Hands and I'll Be Your Eyes." I'll include a link to it below, but it's a fascinating story about these 2 guys in China. One of them is blind, the other one has no arms, but they work together to go around planting trees to restore their environment where they live, which has been devastated by pollution, right? So they saw a need and they were like, hey, here are our current skills and abilities, and this is what we're gonna do to answer that need. And in that vein, we're gonna go on to tip number 2, which is you need to identify the skills needed for the job that you want, and then know the need of that specific company that you're applying to, right? So this comes at a lot of different levels. So at the broad scape, when you see a job and there's a job description, right there they're telling you what they need from the person that they're going to be looking to fill the role. And oftentimes job descriptions, they don't include every single thing that the company needs. Those are usually like the basics. Like, if you can't do this much, we're probably gonna look for someone else, right? So inside the job description, you're really gonna see, okay, what are they saying? Do they need someone with project management skills? Do they need someone with time management skills? Do they need someone who's gonna do hard labor on flexible time? Do they need someone who can have a specialized field, right? So once you identify what their core needs are, that's what you're gonna focus on, either attaining or being like, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, I know I can do that. And the important thing is, not only should you identify that you can do it, you need to be able to demonstrate that you can do it on your resume, right? So when you apply, you can't just be like, yeah, I manage projects, it's easy, no problem. You have to be able to be like, yeah, I manage X amount of projects, and I was able to get this number of results when I manage those projects. Whether you're school projects, you gotta be creative, because remember, you have limited experience related to this field, so you're gonna have to be creative in terms of like, hey, this was a project that I managed in undergrad. These were the parameters of the project. This is what I did to execute on it, etc. That's the type of approach you're gonna have to do in this vein in order to get it done. And then also you gotta think strategically, right? So obviously there's like huge corporations like Coca-Cola and Whirlpool and just different places like that. And if you apply to those places with limited work experience, chances are you're just gonna get a rejection email. Because why? Because they're global companies, so it's fairly easy for them to find someone who's gonna match the qualifications for what they're looking for. But if there's like a small business owner or someone who perhaps their need is just manpower, or maybe they just need a young set of eyes or like a new perspective or something. They may be more willing to take a chance on you because they have a smaller business, they have a more local reach, and it's harder for them to pull in top talent. We're gonna move on to step 3, all right? So after you've identified skills needed for the job that you want, as well as the need of the company that you want to apply to, now you gotta make a plan to get the qualifications necessary for this job, right? So at this step, this is where you, as someone with limited experience, has to be creative, right? So let's say you have your resume and you're like, I haven't worked anywhere. Like, I just graduated from high school, or, I just went to summer camp all 4 years in college and I didn't do anything work orientated, right? So you gotta to be creative and be like, okay, so I want to get a service job. So that means I need to have some customer service skills, I need to be able to deal with conflict resolution, and I need my other 3 abilities, which is being punctual, being flexible, and being a hard worker. So I need to be able to demonstrate this somehow on my resume. So what do? You think, okay, what have I done for neighbors or family members? Whether maybe you mowed lawns, or maybe you did chores, or maybe you were a babysitter, or etc. All right, and then you need to take that experience and craft it as your business. So whether it was I ran my own babysitting company, or I ran my own lawn care company, etc., you establish it that way, and then you think of how many clients did I have, how many people did, how many hours did I spend working this, did I have high customer rating reviews? Like, that's the type of thinking you want to have, and you want to either arrange those past experiences in that way or look for a new experience that you can use. So let's say you want to get an office job, right? And you have no office experience at all. What you'll want to do is identify some offices that are looking for labor, right? Everyone, especially local small businesses, would love to have additional labor or additional work. So you need to reach out to those groups and be like, hey, I'm a recent graduate, I'm a student, I'm not working, but I'm looking for an opportunity to get some volunteer hours in so I can have some office experience. Most likely, they're not going to turn away free labor. Like, if you offer them free labor, if you could do 3 or 4 months of like 5 hours a week volunteering, etc., you can put that on your resume. Now you have something that's closer to the qualifications for the job that you're gunning for. Step number 4, you gotta identify your connections and as well as make new ones. So let's say you're applying company X, right? You gotta see if you know anyone in the company. Like, there's no shame, even if, like, let's say you went to the same undergraduate college with this person, right? So you don't know this person necessarily on a friend-to-friend basis, but you know you both went to X university or X high school. That's a connection, and you got to utilize your connections. Now, don't just go off the cuff, be like, hey, so-and-so, I know we're not connected in any type of way.
I don't know who you are,
but I really want you to give me a job because I need it.
I can tell you I don't have money, but what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
That's not the approach. That's not what you want to do. Instead, you want to reach out and build some rapport with this person using your initial connection as that starting point, right? So you want to reach out in an email or give them a call. It's like, hey, so-and-so, I learned about you because I too am an alumni from X school, and I wanted to learn more about your company because it seems like a great place to work. Could we meet for coffee, or could we set up like a 20-minute call where you can just tell me more about your company? Everyone likes talking about themselves, so that type of setup, you ask them to commit nothing besides giving you information, and they feel like they're giving back to a recent alumni from one of their schools. So there's a high chance of them reaching back out to you and being like, sure, let's get together, etc. Also, when you're setting up those kind of cold call networking things, you always want to make sure that you give a date. So even if they say no, they're more inclined to give an alternate date. So you want to be like, hey, let's meet up for coffee, or let's have a call next Wednesday at 10 a.m. They'll say, no, that's not going to work for me, and they'll likely say, how about this time? And then now you got to connect, and now you're building rapport with this person. And then after you have like a loose ongoing relationship with this person, when you're ready to apply to the role that you're interested in, you'd be like, hey, so-and-so, really thank you for all the information you've provided me, and I'm looking to apply to X position. Just wanted to let you know, since based on what you've told me, it seems like a really great company to work for. And then they could be inclined to be like, oh, that's great, I'll talk to the recruiter, or I'll put in a good word for you, etc. those are the types of connections that you want. Another thing you can do, which is kind of similar to the volunteering thing I was talking about earlier, is job shadowing. So if you could reach out to someone within a company, whether it's like a hospital or a small business or a large business, like a good family friend, be like, hey, look, I'm trying to learn more about this field. I would love the opportunity to job shadow you as a professional so I can learn more about what you do and see the type of people you interact with, right? Again, minimal commit from them because they don't have to pay you and you're just kind of learning, and it's a favor, but it's a low investment favor because it's just a few days or a week or two or maybe a month depending on how long they want you in there, that you're just kind of following them around, learning more about their business, and you use that as an avenue to continue to build further connections within this group. So once you apply, even though you may not be as experienced as some of the other individuals that have applied, they'll be like, oh, that's Cliff. He was job shadowing here 2 weeks ago. He did great work, or we really loved working with him. Because remember, finding someone like us as recruiters, when we're looking for people to hire, yes, experience is important, but we also want to find someone who's going to be a good fit with the group. So if a group is like, oh, we love working with this person, or oh yeah, working with this person is easy, you're much more inclined to be given a chance, and now you're also not another nameless face, right? Now there's a face on your resume. You're not just one of 30. Because if you're one of 30, they're going to go with the numbers. But if there's some connection with you as a person, then they're more inclined to at least give you a chance. So you can at least start lining up some interviews. Okay, the fifth tip that I'm going to provide for you, and the final tip, I think I said 6 before, but I low-key combine 2 within number 4 because you got to identify your connections and also set up new ones. So 4 and 5 are kind of combined together. But anyway, tip number 5/6 is always be ready to sell yourself, right? So when you're selling something, if you don't believe in what you're selling, other people are going to be like, yo, this guy, this gal, they're not about it. I'm not going to buy that because you're not committed to it. So either something's wrong or it's really not that good of a product. And it's the same thing with yourself, right? So if you're going to job shadow somewhere, or if you're calling someone, or if you're applying and you make some type of human contact, you're like, well, I think I would be really good at this, or I don't really know what I'm doing, but this seems like an interesting place. Like, you're not committed, and they're like, I'm not gonna waste my time on this person who doesn't know what they want, right? So whenever you've made your connections, you've identified the qualifications, the skills that they need, you gotta be like, my name is so-and-so, I just graduated, and I think I'd be a great fit for your company because of X, Y, and Z. I would love the opportunity to talk about that further with you. Like, that's the kind of energy you gotta bring, right? You can't come like with low energy, lazy energy, because you're just gonna get passed up, and that's gonna suck for you because you're the one that's trying to get a job, right? So real briefly, let's just go over everything all over again. So number 1, identify your current strengths. And at the very minimum, you can be a hardworking, punctual, flexible person, all right? Even if you have no other strengths, you can do at least those 3. Number 2, you gotta identify the skills needed for the job that you want. And particularly, not just the skills needed for the job, but the needs of the company itself. Do they need someone who's a people person? Do they need someone who's dedicated? Do they need someone who can work flexible hours? Find out what their need is, and then target that once you're making your contact, all right? Number 3, make a plan to get the qualifications for this position that you're going for, right? These are the skills I have now. Do I need to job shadow here? Do I need to think creatively about the experiences I already have? Do I need to volunteer somewhere? Be creative to figure out how do I get these necessary qualifications, or further schooling, or whatever it is that you need to do so that you can be more qualified for this position. Number 4, you want to identify your current connections with the group as well as make new connections, right? So if you have even a loose connection, whether it's like you both know the same person or you both went to the same school, build upon that so you can build a stronger hold with this group that you want to join. And that way, once you're ready to apply, you're not just another name in a pile of resumes, right? You're, oh, that's Cliff. That's the kind of reaction that you want to get. It'll raise your chances to be considered. Number 5/6. Because remember, the last one, identify your connections / make new ones. That's technically 2 steps. So we'll say that was 4 and 5. Number 6, final step, be ready to sell yourself. Because if you're not buying what you're selling, no one else is going to. All right? So this has been Declassify Your Career. I hope you found this information super helpful. If so, like, share, comment. Let's engage. Let's figure out how we can help declassify your career. If you didn't like it, you can also comment that below as well. We can figure out how I can make this more useful for you as well. Awesome. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you all have a great rest of your days.